welcome to episode 31 of this broadcast. Sorry, I've been away for a couple of days. I've had Eid, I've had a lot of food. I've had some time to myself, to be fair. It's been pretty difficult, I'm not gonna lie. It has been a little bit hard over these past couple of days. Eid is a very well, should be a very family based sort of celebration. But I'm not really in that kind of family. So I don't really have the pleasure like a lot of you have, of, you know, celebrating that beautiful occasion. So I guess to some degree, I've been like celebrating, but I've also been really struggling in celebration. Just it is what it is. But yeah, I hope that we've had a good Eid. Um, it wasn't a bad Eid. Like, I'm not saying it was a bad Eid for myself, but I don't know. I kind of just got to Eid and kind of crashed out a bit. I'll be real, and that's just the way it went. I'd rather be honest with you. Hey, guess what though? We've got another episode, and it came out last night. So if I did do this episode a little bit earlier, we wouldn't have been able to catch this, what I'm going to show you, which is episode 4 of Brother Ben's The Grafting Plan, Yakubs grafted devil. Obviously, we're learning about the creation of the white man. And you may say, oh my god, you just called the white man the devil. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Is he not acting? Let's just first and foremost point out something very simple. Is he not acting like a devil? And let's just be honest, yeah. We all use the word God. We always, God, 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 God. But like, nobody ever wants to define what a devil really is, you know? What is a devil? When someone says, "Oh, you're being a little devil, you are," what are they usually doing? The person who's being a little devil, what they usually doing? They're usually being mischievous. They're usually causing corruption or spreading false information. There's another saying that he used to say when he was younger: "You're being a little rat bag." That's one of the sayings that when I was younger. You're being a little rat bag. That's what they used to say. So if you think about, like, on the streets, if someone says, "Oh, you're a rat," yeah, it's like you're being a little snooper. You're being a little, what's the word? You're telling tales. You're a telltale. See? When you say that, you're telling tales. So, a devil is one who is causing mischief. Okay. So if I was to say, I'll say it like this, because we do get really spun out by these terms, especially when we come to the root of, like, some of the, let's say, the more negative elements of the study. So, for instance, the judgment, for instance, the devil, for instance, the emotion. Okay, we get a little bit ruffled about these things. I notice. I notice. I notice. And so let me say this: Donald Trump is a devil. Is that true or false? And what makes it true and what makes it false? Because in your, over accentuation of what a devil means in your mind and what it actually means, you may fight for his case and say, no, Donald Trump isn't a devil. But if you look at what he's doing in the Middle East, if you look at what he's doing in his own country, if you look at what he's doing in his own office, if you look at what he's doing in the world, he's bringing and causing great mischief. He's being tyrannical. That's another word that can relate to a devil. He's being tyrannical, which means he's being a tyrant. He's being Pharaoh-like. He's being, like a dictator. He's being like he's operating like a king, like back in the 16th, 17th century or something. Like, I tell you what. Let me read you what I wrote today, because we are gonna try to get through this a bit quicker. I say that all the time, but it never works, does it? All right. I put, we are heading into the direction of another rejection against yet again another servant of Almighty God. I said, this fairy tale religion that you have experienced in the world, whether from younger or maybe from even a more recent time and experience, I want you to know, is quickly heading to the death it needs. That fairy tale religion, spookism, defying, bypassing, or really crippling in our minds Allah's scientific reality, is heading straight to the death it must experience in order for the new, the truth, to take precedence. I said the old model of the faith will not benefit us with anything powerful enough to challenge a newer enemy. Because if the new enemy is dependent on you to go along with the old model, or to fight with the old model, then the enemy is whistling. He ain't bothered how many times you talk Jesus, because if you ain't living Jesus, if you ain't walking Jesus, then you are of no concern to him. Our unity in truth, in newness, is more powerful than that silly bomb they call the atomic bomb. We speak atomic bombs, how about that one? The problem is, we have a freshly updated enemy being fought against with an old model understanding of faith, fighting this modern Satan with all of his updates, while we reject our updates on the basis, on a daily basis. Reject ours on the basis of one of the following: fear, cowardice, niggardliness, ignorance, oppression of men, laziness, debt, anxiety, grief. So, really we've got to understand, and I guess it ties into like what we're about to watch, hopefully. Because, the ultimate aim of Yakub's like determined idea is that he would produce a man who is powerful. He would produce a man that has power over, the original man. That was his goal. And his goal has been achieved. Oh, I'm on low battery here. Let me put this on charge because I don't want it to run out. So, you could say that like Donald Trump is like the full manifestation of Yakub's idea, his determined idea. And so, just think about these things. Because, that's a long time ago. In this calendar cycle, 8,400, we're now on the 16,000 of this 25,000 calendar year cycle. So if you can think 8,000, 9,000, 10,000, 11,000, 13,000, 14,000, 15,000, 16,000. We're talking nearly 7,000 years, really. We'll call it 7,000 years. It's really 6,000 years that the devil was given to rule. But if you think about that length of time, what would such a determined idea look like 6,000 years later on? It would probably look like a kingdom or kingdoms on the earth that represent the full manifestation of the idea of Yakub. America, right now, represents the full manifestation of Yakub's determined idea. And Israel. They both represent that determined idea. Even that place like the UK, even like Italy and France and all these nations, like, you know, who use war, who are more concerned with you know, spending money on weapons of war, weapons of fire. Yeah. And when we spoke last week about the cremator, because in that time, if the child was like a darker child, it was given to the cremator to burn, or the child was fed to wild beasts. So what does a cremator look like in today's day? The cremator looks like cannabis. The cremator looks like cigarettes. The cremator looks like, as we discussed, I mean, again, try to tap into last episode. I can't really remember everything we touched on. But what else did he say? What else did I say? No. Yeah, we spoke about scriptures and just how, like, we spoke about Moses, actually, because when Moses was sent to the white man, remember, who was then driven out, or at one point in his, you know, in his existence, he was driven out from the Holy Land, okay, and he was driven into the hills and the cave sides, Caucasus Mountains, and he was forced to live the life of a beast for a while, for a large part of his 2,000 years that he was given to rule. Which, again, I don't want us to overlook that part. That part. Literally, I don't want us to overlook the time in which Allah permitted him to go through 2,000 years of being a complete savage. Because what you don't know is perhaps that 2,000 years of savagery was going to help him to be as he would be in all the other stages that would come after that. Because it's almost like this, like, you know, if you have cancer and then you stop it, or like you eliminate the cancer, it can come back, you know. See? So just because Moses was sent to the Caucasus Mountains to teach the white man civilization. This is why the Jews hold Moses in such high regard in everything Moses did, which includes some of the lost, forgotten technology as well, which is, again, a whole entire subject. I'll try to make this as quick as I can because I know I'm already going on one. But, you know, Moses was sent to this people to teach them how to bury their dead, to cook their food, and to civilize them. He put a board in their backs because they were on all fours, brother, sister. This people, white people, this is where they come from, yo. That's their beginning, yo. Really, their beginning is on the island, which obviously we've seen in these episodes. In a way, like, Brother Ben's done as best as a job as he could and can to get this picture over to us. There's a bit of humour in there. There's a bit of, like, obviously it's a film. One sec, let me get water. Get some water. because I need to stay hydrated. Praises be to Allah. You know, so we have a good little outline, shall we say? But Elijah Muhammad taught us pretty much everything we needed to know. So we have a brilliant outline. But I want us to just think over the fact that what we're dealing with in modern time, okay, is a direct result of what happened in the past. Or rather, it can be rooted back to a past point or to a checkpoint in the past that defines or determines why we've got to this point, okay? Because a lot of people right now are going, how have we got here? Like, you know, I do really, I do feel for some people when they genuinely ask those questions, like, you know, how, especially young people, like, how have we actually got to this point in time? And it's really not something that's happened overnight. It's not, I don't think wise men in an office could have pulled this off, beloved. And as wise as these Satans are in these offices, I really do think, rather, it's on a scientific level that this has all been able to be achieved, and it is Yakub. It all boils down to this individual that grafted, you know, white people from black people, which took, as you learned last episode, hopefully, it took 600 years for that grafting process to fully be completed. And at the end of it, you had a white Caucasian with really blue eyes who was very weak in his being. Who's belling me now? Oh God, where is my phone? I don't even know where it is. Hiya Kyle, I'm just on a broadcast, mate. I'll bill you back after I'm like finished, alright? Right, love, peace. Right, sorry about that. You never know why people call you. So, but yeah. What was I talking about then? Oh my God. That's why I don't like being cut off. Because I'm always on to something. I'm always on to something, bro. Okay, white man, grafted, yes. 2,000 years on his all fours, raised by Moses, on the island. When he was finished, he was a white man with really blue eyes, and he was really weak in his being. He's really weak in all of the things. In his flesh, in his mind, in his back. See? When the white man got the black man from the shores of Africa and brought him over to America, what did he bring him over there for? He brought him over there because his back was weak and he needed somebody strong to build his world. See? You may not agree with me, but I don't really give a damn. I really don't care if you agree with me or not. This is what the messenger taught us. And this is just really, if you look at it, it's mathematics. Islam is mathematics. As we said, we're not dealing with fairy tale religion no more. We're not here to identify a spiritual flying ghost as Satan anymore. We're here to define, you know, the one that we've been dealing with on the earth, on the surface, who's still doing things today that prove, if not more so now than ever, that Elijah Muhammad was absolutely correct. He was absolutely not ill-motivated, absolutely not ill-informed. He was absolutely not a crazy man or a madman, but he was in fact from God. And he was in fact sent from the face of God. We'll go even further. And I did say the face. I didn't say the spirit. I didn't say the flying, you know. You know what I'm talking about, brothers. I said, you heard what I said in that then. That fairy tale religion, man, is going. Because you tell me, brothers and sisters, where I can buy a loaf of bread that feeds 5,000 people. Because wherever you can tell me where that loaf of bread exists, I'll give it here because I want to feed everyone on my street tonight. You understand? It's not making no sense, is it? See, no loaf of bread from Morrison's, not even from a Morrison's in heaven on the wheel. There ain't no loaf of bread up there that can feed 5,000 people, beloved. 5,000 people with one loaf of bread? Come on, beloved. Either we're not getting it or we don't want to get it. And so we're not getting it. And therefore we're just pitiful. So, you know, let's get to this episode anyway. And then we'll continue on. Where did we leave? Where did we stop at last time? It was the doctor. Yeah. Yes. Remember, we're bringing this into modern time. The doctor's not even that long, you know, to be fair. Alright, well, let's get into Brother Ben's episode 4. I'm quite excited for this. Let's have a look.
Is this the place? It don't look like much.
Oh, there's Pilan. See? They've arrived. And this one's called the grafting plan. Oh, this could be perfect. I think this is, oh, praise be to Allah. Because this is the area of the work that I'm at right now. Like, this is what I focus on in this write-up. Praise be to Allah. So get the fire going, mate.
We'll make it ours. See how they have cast us out. Now, if you will choose me as your king, I will teach you how to return. We will not remain what they cast away. We chose you before we ever left.
So he's basically saying there, beloved, where they got booted out from, because obviously if you watched the last episode, you can see that they weren't accepted in the Holy Land for teaching that science, that you could graft, you know, white from black. Let's just be honest, yo. 2 white people can't produce a black child. You understand? There's nothing about sunlight. 2 white people. It's a genetic, scientific impossibility for 2 white people to produce a black child. And you may say, flipping out, you sound very patronising. No, we're not understanding what that really is telling us. Yeah? A black person and a black person can produce an albino. Whiter than white. As in talking eyebrows too. Eyelashes too. So just think on these things, like we all come from somewhere, and whether you like it or not, the black man and the black woman is the mother and father of civilization. And it's not an accident they've been treated so badly over these 6,000 year period. In fact, I'll go even one further. For every 1,000 years that the white man has existed on our planet, 100 million black people have been killed every 1,000 years. I believe that's what Elijah Muhammad taught. Correct me if I'm wrong. Which means, as thou hast done, so shall it be done. And it's also an eye for an eye. See? You can't really... What? You know, when I speak to like historians and stuff about white folks, just about the history, it's all war. It's just war and war and war. And there's talk of a bloodshedder in the Bible and a bloodshedder in the Quran. Somebody's going to shed blood. You know, who is this pale horse in Revelation? You know, and death followed closely behind. And he went all around the world. You know, who are these prophecies about, yo? Because, you know, I was saying it today on my Instagram. I was like, why is the last book of the Bible called Revelation? And then we expect we ain't gonna get no revelation from somewhere, from anywhere. I don't think so. So we better understand, you know, whom God is and whom the devil is. Do you understand? We have to things have to be put into a proper context. Otherwise, this invisible religion that you got, it's just gonna keep ruling you forever, and you're not gonna know that you've got your enemy in your midst. You've got your enemy, you know, ruling 9/10 of the planet in suits and ties, owning everything, and you're still working a 9 to 5. Do you understand? You're still serving the master. No, listen, God didn't make him not powerful. He did, but he's really not powerful when it comes to men of God. He's really a punk. He's really just one solid believer was just having wrapped around their finger. That's what Elijah Muhammad said anyway. Come on, let's just go.
Then rise and build. He sees farther than we do. That's why we follow. If we build this right, they won't cast us out again. Doctor, minister, nurses, cremator.
Boom.
Come.
See?
What I'm about to tell you stays here.
Right,
Doctor, listen well.
Right, yeah. Well, we need to listen well right now, because this is going to touch on everything that I've been hitting in this write-up. This is, remember when I called this lecture, The Labourers of Yakub? Right, well, this is the part when I'm ushering us to really listen, because how these labourers were chosen and what they were chosen for in Yakub's time have developed into a modern context. There's a modern string into why and whom he was choosing to be his top labourers. Okay?
Let all the people come to you who want to marry. If there come to you 2 real black ones, take a needle and get a little of their blood. Do we test for disease? No. You go into your room and pretend to be examining it. See whether their blood would mix. Then, come and tell them that they will each have to find another mate, because their blood does not mix.
You give them a certificate for the minister, warning him against marrying the couple. When there comes to you 2 browner ones, take a pretended test again.
Mr. Yakub, you want me to pretend?
I want you to obey!
See? Now he's coming up with a system, okay, that will not only scientifically imbalance the minds, yeah, it will create a system of tricks and lies. It'll create a system of lies and liars. See? He's teaching the people how to lie, basically, Yakub. He's teaching people how to systematically change the outcome of what comes from the womb, from the very from those in the society. Do you understand? So, come on.
Who are lighter come before you. You will come back and tell them it does mix. Soon, children will be born among our people. Some will come dark, and some will come lighter. When a child is born dark, it must not live. You will prick the brain, and the child will die quickly.
If the mother is watching closely, you must not let her see what you do.
Yeah, but what if she does see what we are doing? Then what? You will lie to her. Tell her she has given birth to an angel. We have an enemy on shore. It's time to fight again.
So let me just say this as well. Can you see that we are in a world of racism? Now, what's the root of racism? What is racism? Isn't racism kill the darker, spare the lighter? Accept the lighter, don't accept the darker? See? See how this man's system is still in operation today, but it's in modern context. It's in a modern formula that we only have to read through and see. There's Yakub. You know when he said to prick the baby at birth? You know when children are born in this world, what do they give us at birth? Vaccinations. They prick us with a death jab. See? And they probably do it most likely in America with the real black ones. You know? How many times have you seen at the moment like nurses being put in jail for, you know, I seen one the other month that was like a woman got put away. It was only for a short period of time as well. She got put away for breaking children's like legs and that, black babies' legs and stuff. Wicked woman. Such a wicked woman. Yeah. So if you can even look at like the nurses that I, you know, and I've been into like, you know, I've been into care homes. My granddad's in like, he's going through stuff in a minute, and I went into the care home like with my two brothers like a couple of months ago, or like a month ago, maybe a bit less than that, and like, you know, it's strange in there, yo. It's strange. It's not something off about it. You know what I mean? Like in a care home and in a nursing home and stuff like that. You'd think that, you know, you'd think it's going to be one thing and it's not. And if you've seen that film, Get Out, that's what it's like in there, yo. It was crazy. And it's the same in hospitals. It's like, you can smell the death in the air, but you can smell the death on the people that serve the people. That's what gets to me. You know, the nurses are all... It's like a horror movie, mate. Honestly, I swear to God, man. If I'm ever in a care home, just give me the Magnum, bro. I'll pull the trigger on my own brain. I swear to God, man. Oh, it would stress me out being in a care home, yo. It would proper stress me out, yo. I'd be saying, La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah. I'd be saying that every day, every interaction, yo. I swear down, we should look after our parents and our grandparents and stuff. If you've got parents and whatnot, make sure you like go see them or something. Because I swear down, these doctors and nurses and stuff, they're not to be trusted, and they prescribe our grandparents and our parents and us with things that are killing us. You understand? So if you can see, because we are going to go into my writings, maybe we could do it at the same time. But no, I think it's better that we do it all in one. So anyway, let's pull it back a bit. I want to kind of...
You must not let her see what you do. Yeah, but what if she does see what we are doing? Then what? You will lie to her. Tell her she has given birth to an angel. We have an enemy on shore. It's time to fight again. Prepare yourselves! Didn't you say we have to fight? Damn it, I said stand down! Now do it or you're done!
going on here? What's going on?
Welcome. Who are they? Did you think we were going to graft without women? You now share in this labor. Soon, children will be born among our people. And each of you will play your part. When Yakub isn't around, you answer to me.
No, I don't.
You will respect her.
Oh snap!
Taken.
He's getting
It's
dropped.
earned.
When the child is taken from the mother, it must not return. The child will be carried beyond the camp. If there are beasts nearby, the child will be given to them.
The world you know today will not remain as it is. What we are beginning here is not merely separation. It is the careful design of a new people.
You speak of creating something new, but these are still our people, our families, our children. If we begin separating them, begin choosing who may marry and who may not, what exactly are we building from this?
Because I'm making a man that will rule.
Is this considered evil?
Only time will tell.
From the doctor, to the nurse, to the cremator. If any of you disobeys,
Off with your head. Alright. Thank you, Brother Ben. Thank you very much, brother. Right. Don't know why that feels. But yes. So, that was very interesting, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Let's let's rearrange things here a minute. Hold on. Sorry guys. Put that on there. I have like 1,000 notes here. I swear to God, man. Alright, so we got... So yeah, just basing like, sort of bringing that to a point there, is that, look, the reason why God permitted this, you might be thinking wisely, okay? So I'm just checking in case you are. You may be thinking, and rightly so, God, why do you allow this man to do this? And Allah, in all of his wisdom, in all of his great understanding of things, and comprehensive knowledge of things, would say, I know what you know not. Now, what Allah knows that we know not, or we might not know not, is that for him to perfect us, for him to perfect the man he made in the beginning, for him to make things new, he would have to have a catalyst for newness. He would have to have something to spark, or really reduce, or really purify, or really make into the right material the people of God. And how he would do that is by permitting this people to do a work on our planet that would ultimately cause them to reach for God, ultimately cause them to be new, to be made the basic or the perfect basic material, to be made new. So it's like, I don't think there is any other being on the planet that could really reduce the black man, the original man, to what he's been reduced to, but the white man. I might be wrong in saying that, but I think the white man is such an interesting reality that God has permitted to engage with the reality of the black man. But not in his, not, the black man is not, the black man was made to, was made for him to rule at this point. So you could say that the black man, which means the same man that built the pyramids in Egypt, I don't think the white man could have ruled that one. That people. See? And let's just say this as well. Black people have been here for 76 trillion years, brothers and sisters. Try and comprehend that. Even just for a minute. If even he can't comprehend it, the black man himself. You go tell a black man that he's been here for 76 trillion years, he'll laugh at you, bro. I had it yesterday. I was trying to tell a brother, I was like, yo, you're ancient of days, my brother. I was like, you've been here for a long time, bro. And he was like, yeah, but man isn't God, though. And I was like, but man is God. I was wrangling a little bit. But, he can't even conceive of where he was in the beginning. Or he can't even conceive of where he was even a quarter of the way from the beginning. It's very interesting how this is all set up. And there's many questions in it and around it, and as we look into it, that you're going to have. But I do think that the white man was made to bring him to a certain point. There's many reasons why I think the white man was created in a way. I think the white man is a very interesting reality. Because if God is God, and every time you're looking into the face of a black man, you see God. And in him is the white man. In him is the red man. In him is the yellow man. In him is the brown man. Then these are all very interesting characters, are they not? It's almost like you've got like loads of people in one person. But I find it interesting that Allah has left it till the last minute to bring them all out. It's like really interesting. And it's really interesting that it's happened in such a quick space of time as well. And it just so happens to be in that quick space of time, it would end with Christ. It would end with the most holiest man that you could even ever imagine coming. I speak on none other than Master W.D Fard Muhammad, and the Honourable Elijah Muhammad, and the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So, can you imagine how many questions, how many things there are to look at based on this? I heard the Minister Farrakhan say one time, I thank God for the white man. And you hear the audience go a little bit like, but I thought we were against the white man. And he's going, no, I thank him for the white man. I think over that. When you've been laid off from a job, when you've been bullied, it's usually at the expense or at the... Yeah, it's because of this white man. Whether it's in the mind, somebody in the same mind as the white man. It's this white man, yo. Y'all think it's racism or something. It's really, really not. And I don't think it's an accident, beloved, that Babylon has the word baby in it. Because, we got a baby at the wheel. We got a baby on our planet. Got a new man. And it says in the Bible, let us make man. Who's the us? And who's the man that's being made? Really, in the Quran, they call him mankind. He's kind of a man. Not quite a man. He's kind of a man. He's mankind. See? Made in the image and the likeness of God, the original man. Are you getting it? Are you getting it? I hope you're getting it. Because God isn't a spook, beloved. God isn't. If we're made in the same image and likeness as God, and I look human, my image is human, my likeness is, human, then what is God? God is man. God is a man. But when he's among us in the flesh, as it says in the Bible, prepare me a body that I may go down and see if the cries that I have heard are true altogether. He's called a supreme being, the one that comes down, the one that comes, scouting it out, should we say. We're talking divine, man. We're talking the Lord of the heavens and the earth, the sustainer of the heavens and the earth. Tell me, if Christ is God, if Christ is Allah, okay, even if he was, what kind of power does Christ have to be sustainer of the heavens and the earth? What kind of power? What kind of power does that one have? To be a Lord over creation, to be master over the elements, to be master over the forces of nature, to be master over the weather, to be over the top of creation like a god. I'm going to make it rain here, I'm going to make it snow here, I'm going to pop that volcano off, I'm going to cause that dam to break, we're talking God. We're talking, remember when it says the Lord of Lords? So you've got Lord, the Lord, and then you've got of Lords. We want to put Christ as the Lord instead of one of the Lords. Really, he's like so close. I was thinking about this the other day about Christ. And I was like, if we're so interested in Master Fard Muhammad, then we better quickly get interested with the most Honourable Elijah Muhammad. Because if we ain't interested in Elijah Muhammad and yet we believe in Master Fard Muhammad or the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan, we are toast, beloved. I'll just speak to you for real. I'll just speak to the believers for real. Because whether you know it or not, the Honourable Elijah Muhammad is the right arm, is the right hand of God, which is a very powerful description of who Christ is, who the Honourable Elijah Muhammad is in our midst, and in God's reality, in God's sphere, in God's council, in God's assembly, in God's company, in God's divine sphere of individuals. So, yeah, we're gonna go through the riding. We're gonna go through the riding. Writings on the wall. Alright, so the doctor. Pharmaceutical, I've put. So the doctor / pharmaceutical. So obviously, his labourers were the cremator, the doctor, the nurse, the priest. So, alright. I would like to start this one off by saying that the word pharmakia is as a root word for pharmacy, pharmacist, or pharmaceutical. The definition of pharmakia is the use of medicine, drugs, and indeed spells, poisoning, and sorcery. The concrete noun is Farrakhan, whose primary meaning is poison. Its secondary meaning is magic potion or charm to achieve a desirable objective. And its tertiary meaning is medicine, remedy, or drug for healing. There is another dictionary that also gives it the definition of magical arts, and often found in connections to idolatry and seductions. The Bible makes use of the word pharmakia in its later or latter states, once in Galatians as witchcraft. Sorry, I'm just a bit dehydrated. Galatians as witchcraft, and twice in Revelation as sorceries. Galatians 5:16 to 21, Revelations 23:18 to 21 and 24. By thy sorceries were all nations deceived. So that's what it is, I believe, in Revelations. But it's really interesting that, actually, because maybe I do go on about it here, but I do think that on the highest levels of government, you know, all this Baal worship that you've been hearing about, you see in Iran, whom they're at war with, and we're cheering on Iran. The whole world's with Iran. We're not for these paedophile people that are the USA, you know. They all practice wickedness and sorcery and stuff. You do realise that Bohemian Grove is a real thing, and you know, this Baal worship is really deep, beloved. It's really, you know, these famous people really do. It's like Hot Fuzz, like, not to put it like a little bit shallow in a way, because it really is. But you know, in Hot Fuzz, where you've got those hooded people and they're all like, you know, just murdering folks. It's crazy. It's crazy. Epstein is, you know, the Epstein files has shown a lot of this and is proving a lot of this. And you can even see by their use of language in the emails to one another that they are definitely putting stuff in code so that we won't even be able to recognize what they're talking about. I believe pizza is something to do with children and eating children and that. Pizza. You understand? So, I mean, anyway, so again, by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. Now, in no way am I saying that medicine or drugs cannot be used for good, and so used again holistically and as a positive remedy. But the way the Bible is describing it, it denotes that it is being used in a negative way, as the Bible says, deceiving nations. Sorcery deceiving nations? The food we eat, the things we put in our hair, the things we wear around our necks, the things we've been taught, things we've been told. See? There's all chemicals in all of those. Because even the chemical rewiring of the brain takes, you know, indoctrination to do that. It takes a level of mental manipulation and mental, you know, rewiring. That is the best way to actually explain it. Rewiring the brain. Like television, tell lie vision, tell a lie in a vision. You know, it's all science, beloved. This is what I mean. We're on to this. Jesus is going to come and do a backflip and fire horns out his hands and explode the enemy. And it's just, we're living in spookism and fairy tales. And yet the devil is really like, I mean, even the Epstein files has been proving that McDonald's has been feeding human meat to people in America and God knows where else. I've not eaten a McDonald's in like probably nearly 10 years. And you know what's crazy? I'll tell you a story. The last time I did eat it, I went to an Eminem concert. And because it ended so late, I literally had nowhere else to eat. And I got like 40 chicken nuggets and like a cheeseburger. And honestly, beloved, and before that, I hadn't eaten it in a good 4 years. So I'd already not eaten it before, like for 4 years. And oh my God, beloved. Well, put it this way, I went with my friend and his girlfriend. And so I had the back seat all to myself, basically. And beloved, I was dead in that back seat. I was dead in that back seat. I like went from being alive to I think I was gonna die or something. Like, beloved, I felt like death was upon me, yo. Like, I ain't never eaten Mackies since that. Do you see me? So yeah, that was just a little. Just the things we're ingesting. You know, even when you run a bath, you put a bit of bubble bath. What's in the bubble bath? What's in the? Sorry, pardon me. But you know what I'm saying, brother. You know what? Even in the even when you're running a bath, even though maybe you don't even have any bubble bath, what's in the water in the bath? It's lead. So all your pores are opened up. All the lead's going straight in. Man's coming out like a zombie from, you know. It's crazy, yo. It's a shock we're all still alive, to be honest. Praise be to Allah. It's not funny. It's just I just really. Hey, listen. If you don't laugh, you'll cry. So, and I'd rather laugh today. So, pardon me if laughing bothers you so much. And so, yeah. All right. Right. Let's get to it. Flipping Nora. And yes, that sets the tone for a possibility and actually now proven reality that there's a trick, there's a dark truth to what's going on, and that there's a corruption that's gone so corrupt that it's time we pick either ignorance or knowledge of self, no fence sitting. America and every major pharmaceutical company is manufacturing toxic chemical concoctions, especially in our food, that directly affect our bodies and our all in all connection to God. Pharmaceutical companies make money, and in a moment I will show you how much they make roughly. Oh, I'm interested now. Some would have a great argument in saying that they are a supergiant organization in the areas of world trade. Pharmaceutical companies in and of itself is a business who are also mixed into the science of the practices of old and new. In the pharmaceutical colosseum, the Poonwala Group includes the Serum Institute of India, India's top biotech company, and the world's largest vaccine manufacturer by number of doses, according to In the pharmaceutical colosseum, the Poonwala Group includes the Serum Institute of India, India's top biotech company, and the world's largest vaccine manufacturer by number of doses, according to Forbes. I also find it very interesting that they call the largest pharmaceutical company in the US is Pfizer. See, Pfizer. We've been exposing Pfizer. I don't mean me. Like, I mean we as in the conscious army that's on the internet. Pfizer have not cured a single damn thing. They have been. I mean, we know that these jabs, they killed a lot more people that were told, and even in the Epstein files, yo, they Bill Gates, man, Bill Gates, bro, oh Bill, you're a cracker, mate. Ooh, I could kill them all, man. It's Pfizer, with a revenue of 100.33 billion. As of 2021, the US pharmaceutical industry has a market size of 560 billion. Over 4.76 billion retail prescriptions were filed in the US in 2022. They can take out money, but they can't take our treasure. They can take our money, but they can't take our treasure. Yeah, see ya. Today, we do know that these corporations or these corporate giants steer the very faculties of a nation in a world as weak as this one. So, but when the man arrives, hey, all he got to do is open his mouth and the people will know who they are picking. So, because the world is so dark, it means that the light has got to be beaming. Anyway, back to the point. Now, we all know about COVID-19 pandemic, which actually was a plague sent by God, which the enemy was expecting. Not a man-made virus, but a God-sent plague that nobody could prevent from happening. The same pandemic where the enemy attempted to steal your treasure, a pestilence from heaven, and because the devil is more of a scriptural scientist than a lot of so-called scriptural scientists, he knew and knows that God in particular, the Lord Master Fard Muhammad, would eventually start the process of plaguing the people for their sins and their wrongdoing towards his messengers and people, using nature to display his power. It's getting hot, isn't it? I've put in it. Now, the first plague of Egypt was the waters of the Nile turning to blood, which from my point of view can represent or mirror of another kind of plague, meaning that the waters of the original Nile people would be turned to blood, murder, killing one another. Hence why the minister did lectures all around America entitled Stop the Killing. I say this to say that God changes not, and that the same way he dealt with Pharaoh and the magicians will be a similar way physically and or symbolically that he will deal with America and her policies and her practices and her foreign policies, I'm going to add to that, and her practices of death and the tormenting and handling of the Semitic people, black people, who are the people whom the Lord travelled 9,000 miles to find and choose. Another thing I want to add to that is, like, obviously you see that, you know, you've got all these black people in America, you know, they're just completely blasted on drugs, blasted on alcohol and Hennessy and codeine and whatever it's called. Like, it's probably got so many different names, yo. If we was to just search up some of the names for the drugs, you know how many, you know, look, they teach the freaking God's people are acting like devils, but they're doing it not because they actually want to do it, but because they've been so badly torn up in that society, in that world, Babylon, mystery Babylon, that they literally are like, pardon me, they are literally like buried alive under all of that, like, death and influence and sin and I mean the food they eat, bro. They're eating each other, yo. Like, can you imagine? Even eating red meat alone gets us thinking wild. Just by science, as the Honourable Elijah Muhammad taught. In fact, he said we shouldn't even be eating any meat. So anybody who's in the Nation of Islam, who's listening to this, who's still eating meat, you better sort you better sort it out. You better sort it out, because when we're eating red meat, even that's taking us to a certain place where we don't need to be. It's taking us into our little beast nature, into our little, like, you got I showed speed. Why is I showed speed barking, yo? What's that about? You know what I'm saying? What's going on there? You see? And God knows what we're thinking when we're eating each other at McDonald's. You know? When they're putting us on a patty. When somebody's spitting out a tooth. Do you know? It's like, you know what's crazy as well? This just came to mind. When I was in school, we used to read an English book. Well, in English, we used to read a book one year. I think it was year 7, to be fair. And this book was called Tins, right? And maybe if anyone's listening from school, you'll know exactly what book this is. Fergal was the main character, and one day he goes to the shop. He goes to the shopping centre with his mum, and he has this obsession with he starts having this obsession with these tins. And anyway, like when he gets his first tin, basically, he it has no label on it or anything, and it's in like a certain section in the shopping centre where it's like a one-off thing. And anyway, Fergal asks his mum, "Can I get it?" and stuff, and she says, "Yeah, go on then, like whatever, yeah, go grab it." He's just holding this tin, and anyway, when he gets home, he opens the tin, and there's a finger in it. There's a chopped finger in the tin. If he won't teach you right, brother, what makes you think he's gonna feed you right? That part. See? If he ain't gonna teach you right, then he ain't gonna treat you right. And if he ain't gonna treat you right or teach you right, what makes you think he's gonna eat? No, that doesn't sound correct. What makes you gonna help you to eat right? You understand? So we have to think of these things. And that was a little sign for me, I guess. And just, I guess it was relevant. Because, you know. But think about that, beloved. Just think about that. You know. They got the black man in America not just backwards, backwards from 400 years of slavery. I'm talking now they got them eating each other. If they weren't seeing red to each other before all of this, you know, even before Nipsey, before they even killed Nipsey and stuff like that, you know, they oh my God, I pray that, you know, he is going to be the Lord on that day. So listen, Maliki Yawmiddin, I don't have to even petition the Lord to be fair and to be just on that day, because I know whoever's going to be thrown into that lake is going to be thrown into that lake for good reason. So, but I just pray that those who, man, like even those that have just shed a tear out of just pure pain, I just pray that he, like, washes away their sin. Just washes it away for no reason. And he does say that as well. He says some people will be taken out of the fire for no reason. Praises be to Allah. Alright, let's get going. It is no accident that the first thing Master W.D Fard Muhammad did was he went into all of the medicine cupboards and he began throwing away all of their medical treatments given to them by the doctors. Today's equivalent to a detrimental dosing would be the commonly known antidepressant tablets. Now, rather than go into the individual drug and tell you how bad it is, I'm speaking universally on it, I will say that most of the concoctions of medical science do not base their studies on the base of God, which is the first problem. And the second being they do not base their studies on nature being the true medicine, or how the human being, in and of him, even in and of him or herself, is a healer and a being of balanced stability, a regenerative being. Ooh, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, yes, whoever was telling me this. I also find it very interesting that they call them tablets. Ooh, yeah. When the devil has a known record for not only burning and hiding the literature, but breaking the tablets of stone. Again, this all could be tied to state practice of dark magic, or rationalizing disobedience to justify their actions, or using the law of karma for evil. There are some famous tablets, some commonly known as the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, Thoth linked to the word thought, but there are many more tablets that were destroyed during the Crusades, where the pagans or the Caucasian Crusaders dominated the planet with a false ideology or a false account of what the scripture meant. This involved changing the word, even though it states at the very end of the book that we should not do this. The made man, mankind, is the one discovering the world for the first time. See? You know when they're saying, oh, Columbus, he discovered America. No. You mean in the white man's history, or in the white man's account of his time, the white man discovered America. That is the correct term. He found another people already there, brother, sister. How can you discover it if someone's already there? Giving it feathers and that. Come on. Answer that one. Tell you. And he's managed in 6,000 years to break pretty much every law that there is to break. See? Thou shalt not do. The white man says, thou shalt do actually. Thou shalt not eat pork. Oh, thou shalt sell pork and cook it and, advertise it. Thou shalt not kill. The white man says, thou shalt kill actually. I think we will go and bomb a bunch of children in a school. I think we will go and bring 9/11 to its absolute knees on the basis of a lie. And then go into Iraq on another lie. And thou shalt not kill and deny that law yet again over in Iraq. Killing over 2 million Iraqis. And let's just not go into the blood shedding that this man has done since he's been on the planet. Because I'm not going to finish this episode if I do that. So, we mentioned the Crusades, and I believe there's 11 of them. So you count that up, you round up the bodies in there. And then he's such a warmonger, he even had a war with himself in World War One. He was fighting himself in Europe. Twice. World War One and World War Two. And he's still fighting himself in a way now. Oh my God. He's a problem, beloved. He's a problem on our planet. You don't know who he is by scripture, but we know who he is. And we don't care if you don't think we know. There's a reason why there's a reason why you were deceived by him. And you're fearful of him, and we're not. We're looking at him like he's nothing. You understand? He ain't got nothing on us. He can't deceive us anymore. We know his history. See? Without a messenger from God, we're toast. Because he's got all the updates as Satan. He's got all the... He's like the... You know, like one of those Power Ranger episodes where they go massive. Like, he's gone into massive mode. You get me? It was a snake, and now it's a dragon. So it's like, yo, activate massive mode. Well, he's gone into the big freaking Satan. So, we're stood on mini mode. Looking all colourful. But we just need that, like, come together. And we need to win massive mode. Because, I mean, I tell you, Farrakhan's so massive. He really is doing all that on his own. He's really doing that all on his own, beloved. He's gone into massive mode all by himself. And, I mean, what can you say about the minister but Allahu Akbar and Alhamdulillah and praises be to Allah? What can you say? Whoever's got an argument, who's got a complaint about the minister, go and take that complaint and take it where the sun don't shine, because I don't ever want to hear it. Because I'll come for you myself if I hear a complaint about the minister. Swear to God, man. Alright. Moving on. What I'm saying is Yakub knew that we as a creation bring things from our ether and bring into existence the same way an inventor will invent something. We are a being of business by nature. So, some way, Yakub knew that business was the activity of life, or how important the activity or the kinetic involvement or motion is. So, all he had to do, yeah, or motion. So, all he had to do, yeah, motion is important. So, all he had to do was select the right business or professions and raise them up higher. Or, as Elijah Muhammad writes, make them his top labourers. See? Remember, if they feared Yakub, then they also didn't want to mess with his top labourers either. This all applies to our generation and how we've been reared to fear our corrupt bodies and serve them. The footballers, oh my God, the footballers selling their soul through a contract, which in some cases lead it to a practice of sorcery and or darkness. The musician, the actor, and whatnot, yeah, and whatnot. They're all selling their souls, but the point I'm making is they were not alone. They were ensnared by powers you do not see. Powers that are constantly working on you and me. To conclude, creation is always subtly saying, alright, this is the situation, so this is what I'm going to do because of it. Yeah. Or to put it another way, creation is saying, okay, Lord, so long as I can live, dot, dot, dot. See? It's always like, so it's a very good point that I'm making there. What I'm actually saying is Yakub knew the very activity of life. He knew something about the very nature of us. You see how, do you see how Yakub's system, where he's making a new man, is coming as a system? And so in the system, things are ran in a certain way, like life. Like the number 8 turned on its side, and it's like an infinity, and it's going round. Well, imagine that there being an orb following that line on that number 8 or that infinity sign, and it's just going through it, and it's going through it, or following the line of the 8. Try and imagine it, and then it's slowly picking up speed. See, over time. And then at the end of that time, or at the most peak point of it, you can't see the orb anymore because it's going so fast around the 8 that it's now initiated. It's now in initiation mode. Like Yakub's idea is here. Like it's here in the world. We're dealing with it on a mass scale. And so, but Master Fard Muhammad is God. Master Fard Muhammad is here. Master Fard Muhammad is undoing everything that Yakub set up. Because it was really only going to take, God to do that. So, praise be to Allah for that. For coming, see? To make some top labourers of his own. See? Remember, if they feared Yakub, they didn't want to mess with his top labourers. Remember, yeah. This all applies to our generation. Yeah, we said that. Working on you and me. To conclude, creation is always subtly saying, alright, yeah, we said that. So if naturally anything, sorry, pardon me, I know I need to get back to where I was. So if naturally anything living wants to live out its life, then to prove humanity's fall from heaven or the remembrance and embracing of God, all you got to do is study the condition. In this subject and generally, can we just look at the mind of our leaders for a moment? Very interesting, because in the rulers, whether we know it or not, we are seeing a power or a force so wicked that they've lost even their natural will to even want to sustain their own lives in accord with God. Or rather, they've lost ability to see how important it is to leave life knowing that you've done the right thing for yourself, your family, and the totality of humanity. God is the only reality, brothers and sisters. Lastly, there's a tremendous study to be done when it comes to the use of or practice of chemicals, or the revelation that certain chemicals have within them to our disadvantage or to their advantage. There's a universe or a universal lesson in every single creation, and so praise belongs to Allah forever. But this is what we have to understand, beloved, is that if we are allowing our enemy to give us like products, you know, you know, have you read some of the products, beloved, or what's in these products that we're buying from the supermarket? You know, I seen something that said like it's like the face creams and all this, you know, it's all this face cream world stuff. I know it's not really. That's not what it's called. What's it called that now? Our sisters would definitely know this. It's not one for my not my area of expertise. Although sister does ask what you're doing for your skin, and I'm like, Elijah Muhammad. No, so you know the very world of beauty. Beauty. I think that's it. I think they call it the world of beauty or something like beauty. It is though, like beauty products are not beauty products. They're like products. They're not designed to help you, sister, in any way, shape or form. Do you know how beautiful a sister looks in a head garment with no makeup on? To me, do you have any idea how beautiful that is? I say that is, she is, you are. Oh God. You know, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm trying to tell you that you don't need that. You know, you're really that beautiful, sister. You really don't need to do much. You just gotta be your beautiful self. Trust. You don't. I mean, listen. I'm not saying that you don't look great as well when you've got a little bit of something on and you're doing a little bit on your eyes or whatever. I get it. I really do. I really do. And we love it when you do it anyway. It's irrelevant whether you do or you don't, to be honest. But we get it. But we want you to know that, you know, a lot of this pharmacy, see, they're hitting us with this with the hormone stuff. Us men, they're hitting us with like, you know, sugar, which is reducing like the size, should we say? You know, they're hitting us with the hormones that's making us like think the other way. You know, which means like what I'm trying to say is they're messing up with what we're attracted to through the chemicals. Can you imagine how crazy men feel? Like in this world, some of them, like probably thinking like, am I even like, do you know what I mean? And they don't know this is going on. The pharmaceutical companies, the food they're eating, the stuff that, you know, I don't put links on me, you know, just under the arm and that. I don't do none of that, me. I smell sweet though, me. I'll be real. I don't smell of BO. I actually don't smell of that, you know. I've never smelled like bad. I don't smell bad. At all, you know. I like to think I don't smell bad, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not horrible, I'm not minging if I'm not like, you know, spraying that stuff. But what's in that spray? I've even got some here. I've not used it. I got it for Christmas, but I've just got it here. What's in this here now? Let's have a look here. What's going on this? What is going on here? Kick of freshness. What's in it? Tell me what's in it. Look, danger. It says danger on it. Here we go. Ingredients: butane, isobutane, propane, isopropyl palmitate, aluminium chlorohydrate, decapryllyl. They make it what? Who comes up with these names, bruv? Caprylic triglyceride. You can tell it's a devil making these names. I'm telling you. Octylidoxanol. Persea gratissima oil. Disterdimonium hectorite. Propylene carbonate. Geraniol perfume. I mean, it's really something, like what we just put in our bodies and we've just got around us. I mean, I live near this power plant. Like, there's this power plant nearby, and when it's on, oh my god. And I walk to Morrison's, I feel like I'm going to die or something. Like, I feel like I'm walking through, like, a freaking... I feel like when I'm going to get to the other side, I'm going to have another brain or something, or I'm going to have another head popping out the back of my head. That's how, like, bad the smell is. Sometimes I just turn around, I'm not walking yet, because I don't like that smell. Or maybe I shouldn't be being charged so much flipping rent, because I'm going to end up with 7 fingers if I keep walking that way. Anyway, just a laugh. Just a laugh, eh? Just a laugh. Praise be to Allah for my little laughs. Alright, where are we going to go here? What are we going to do here? Are we going to finish this, or are we going to finish this next time? I think we should finish it next time, to be honest. We could do a part 3 on this, because we've spent a lot of time anyway, and to be honest, I didn't really want to do it that long. And you know what? Maybe Brother Ben could bring out... I don't know whether he's going to... it's something that I've figured out, right? Due to our lack of unity in a time where we really needed to unite the most, we're really paying for it now. Because, if we're watching football, how quickly do you think that we can stop watching football? You see what I'm saying? If we're... Beloved, God, if you just knew what sacrifice meant, if we only just understood what that was, what that is, we would understand how much we can do. Which, listen, it's gonna get... It is God's will, and God's will be done. Thy will, Allah's will be done. On earth as it is in heaven. But we need to understand that, beloved, if we're going to survive, which we will, it is inevitable. Inevitable. Then we need some kind of strategy on how we're going to make it. Listen, I've never been one that doesn't like a plan. I love a plan. I love it when someone's got a plan. I really do. Because I'm like, I like not being the only one thinking of a plan. You know what I'm saying? God is a planner. So I hope we're planning. I hope we're planning in our little God mode for God stuff. For God. And even for some devils that don't know their God. That part. So, we've got to understand that this is, as they say, it's not over till the fat lady sings. What that means to me is it's not going to be... All of God's people have to be given the message. This is the universal, beloved. Can you see where my mind's at? I'm thinking like... I've been thinking how we're going to make this universal. And May Allah be pleased with our brother Akbar Muhammad. Abdul Akbar Muhammad, I think his name is. Akbar Muhammad. Do you know he was the international representative of the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan? Did you know that? And is it quite interesting that we need this message to be internationally represented? Is that not safe to say? Is that not fair to say? I am not taking anything away from our brother Akbar Muhammad. I hope that you cast that thought away immediately, if that's there. But what I'm saying is, brother, this has got to go on, beloved. This has got to go on. It is going on. What's going on? It's going on. It's rolling on to the next one. Rolling on a river. Elijah Muhammad is present. I mean, I've got my little ideas, beloved. I don't expect everyone to be behind me. I really don't think it's gonna happen the way I would like to think. But I believe I've got something in me. And I'm being very patient, to be honest, but I believe I wonder who Allah's top labourers are. Now, I wonder what Allah's top labourers are. See? So I would like to think, so this is where my mind's at on it. I'm not exalting myself beyond where I am. Believe me, I hate doing it. Allah's my witness. But I think that Allah has like an artist as one of his top labourers, or a musician, or a scientist, or a mathematician, a scholar, or a studier. I wonder what Allah's top labourers are in the spiritual. I think Allah's top labourers are the humble, the patient, the kind. Praise be to Allah. You know, greater love hath no man than he give his life for his friends. So you could say someone who's sacrificing, the sacrificer. It's one of Allah's top labourers, the sacrificer. The prayer. The prayer. See? Look how creative we can get. Beloved, I had some, well, it's, again, not all my creative ideas I probably should share with you. But I got a few, yo, that that be coming through. I got a few that be coming through. Should we do some music? Should we do a song? We didn't even do a song today, did we? If we told you he's the greatest rap lyricist in the land, he's a warrior for you, he's got discipline in his tanks. You're always trying to stop people listening to this man. That's your worry, that's the truth. I get it, I understand. Can I clap for him? Is you candid? Let's see what we have. Oh, this is so unprepared. But sometimes. You WWE, I'm UFC, I discover me, what do I mean? Shuffle, I shuffle, yes sir, look at my feet, I'm Ali, undiscovered, how you dealing with defeat? Elijah the Christ on repeat, if a man is Farrakhan in his seat. So when you ran into that wall again, it's gonna be hell in a cell till you leave. Don't be envious of me. It's a vibe, don't speak. Watch out for my reach. Alhamdulillah, Khabib. No, Magomed up, I mean, side sweeps. Black belts, swell them up. Follow me, follow me, follow me. Jabril, the sovereign up on the wheel. Bruce Lee, Carly, such a warrior. Octagon with a sweet guillotine. You will see in 5 rounds with me. Hey, send me location. I'm underrated, I'm on the undercard, and my opposition sated, holding on to Master File, and my large amount of patience. The NOI soldiers calling me for registration. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it's 14-14. The Lord will fight for me. Oh, you know what? I remember this one. It was... See for yourself, it might, yeah. Oh, no, 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 no. Yeah. You're fighting for your own again, yeah. So I'll put the fight inside the soul of my pen, yeah. Cause maybe you might help it all to go to your strength. Mind over matter again, yeah. Yeah. Yo. Let's take it back to the beginning. In the beginning was the word. You're fighting for your own again, yeah. So I put the fight inside the soul of my pen, yeah. Right. Cause maybe it might help you all as you go to your strengths. Mind over matter again, yeah. Yo. Islam, energy, energy, energy. Islam, the remedy, remedy, remedy. It's Jah, the lyrical man of the Elohim. It's strong, never weak, never weak, never weak in teach mode. Every week, yo, kiss stone. You're telling me. Master Fard was calling me from beneath. He frightened me a couple times when I didn't see it clean. Now we in loss, yeah. By the time, meaning strong, you can see eye to eye. We've done you in berserker mode, you wanna know why? We lean in wrong and you say to cry. Yeah, I see you, Lord. My oh my, I need it strong to replace my inside. Yeah, I'm kneeling a love and Farrakhan of mine. Teaching strong, I can see my divine all praise. Yo, already been found. It's when it's peak knowledge in law. Telling me, I'm telling you, no. Be creative and escape through the portal. You know, quite the immortal in a sense of the physical, but spiritually, of course, man. Yeah, for the universe is big enough for us all. That's the evidence of the what you put in motion. Earth, mountains, and every oceans. Even the man with the explosives. Yeah, that wanted to kill. Earth used to be bigger, but now it's slightly more still. I don't know, just grasp how you will. Maybe there's think about in him. That's just the way I'm feeling. That's just the way I'm breathing. That's just the way I'm breathing. I try not get too emotional in my stress. I mean it. About to have a stroke, agree with Elijah for many reasons. This the man you cannot beat. His fallenness is overseen. On the wheel, stuck with demons. Sorry. That's just the way I'm feeling. That's just the way I'm breathing. I try not get too emotional in my is always seen. He's on the wheel. I'm stuck with demons. Promise me you'll read the secrets in my writings and performance room. Yeah, that's it. So I'm feeling very old in my soul. I speak out, but I'll read it alone. As that was in a needing for your needing to know, and you're needing to know, but you didn't know it. Yeah. Like see with your soul, it might see when you know it's Elijah. Free to the soul and still a climb. You've now entered the lyrical mind of the God of words. Please repent, no lies, yeah. Heart's gotta be circumcised, yeah. But mine feels too hurt to drive, yeah. Did I say black music? Black music. I'll take it, mate. I'll take a bit of black music. But beloved, shall I do another one? I feel like doing another one. But I need to get the right instrumental. What is this one? No, not that one. There's some proper... Oh, I don't like adverts. Adverts. I don't like adverts. Me and adverts just don't get along. You know. Oh, we've already done that one before. I'm doing that one. Oh, this is a nice song. But what is it called? Steady rhyme. Oh, that's what it's called. Runaway Thoughts. I wonder if you check in with those runaway thoughts. Yeah. Wait a sec. I'm gonna have to play it back. I wonder if you check in with those runaway thoughts. Yeah. Steady rhyme. Okay. Alright. Heavy touch, feminine. Yeah. I wonder if you reckon with those runaway thoughts, yeah. Malachi, 4-5, yeah. I wonder will you give in to those runaway thoughts, yeah. Clyde. Heavy times, ready night, feminine, yeah. Come on, I wonder if you reckon with those runaway thoughts, yeah. It's like Malachi, 4-5, yeah. I wonder will you give in to those runaway thoughts, yeah. I know you in here, but you're out in the rain. I know you in fear, but that's gonna change. You're holding something dear, God was planning your race. I saw you in my dreams and you smiled at my pain. Patrolling all my demons, thinking I'm gonna break. Told you I'm a healer, but your mind's in a grave. The masses on a reel, ready for battle, and so angry I see you thinking Farrakhan's crazy. The God can never tell you to pray. Oh wait, that's an octave higher, I think. The God can tell you never to pray. Ah, okay, I'm in the wrong key. Dude. Ah, okay. I know you're in here, but you're out in the rain. I know you're in fear, but that's gonna change. You're holding something dear, God was planning your race. I saw you in my dreams and you smiled on my pain. Patrolling all my demons, thinking I'm gonna break. Told you I'm a healer, but your mind's in a grave. The masses on the wheel, getting ready for battle. And I'm so angry that I see you thinking Farrakhan's crazy. The gold can never tell you to pray, and the silver can never tell you to wait, yeah. I know you know what I mean, don't be amazed. I know what you mean, don't stay straight, yeah. NOI, we'll survive, yeah. I wonder where you reckon with those runaway thoughts, yeah. NOI, we'll survive, yeah. I wonder where you reckon with those runaway thoughts, yeah. Come on. Malachi, 4-5, yeah. I wonder when you give into those runaway thoughts, yeah. Fire in your hell, in your mind it stays warm. Look, my hands on your clock makes my enemies watch. The quest in my eyes makes your eye contact tough. I'd rather be vulnerable than always act tough. 300 of Muhammad, still it kills me to the core. Every revolutionary, a martyr in a bigger war. I wonder how you step into those runaway thoughts. Every Frodo needs a Sam and his peregrine tuck. Swimming against gravity, only way is up. Yeah, don't you turn your back on my winter seasons. Yeah, I'm only under pressure cause my energy's assaulted. Yeah, on the investigation, see that penalty's clutch. Try and hit me with that liquor, I'll make Hennessy drunk. This part of the mountain, get your mustard seed strong. Fog the thunder in my cloud makes you know you've seen something. Christ coming with a shark, so isn't saying much. So, praise. Checking with those runaway thoughts, yeah. NOI, we'll survive, yeah. I wonder who you got something prepared for the children. I hope we do. Alright, beloved. I'll do a bit of Quran. And then we out of here. And we'll save this. We'll save the nurse. God, the nurse has got a big bit, you know. Swear to God. I had a lot to say about the nurse. Yep. So, it is episode 31. And I think chapter 31 is Luqman. How right am I? Am I right? Yeah, I'm right. I'm getting good at this, you know. Alright, the name of this chapter is taken from that of the sage to whose story it refers. Luqman was an Ethiopian, and his mention here testifies to the breadth of the fundamental principles of Islam alluded to in the last chapter. The aim of this chapter is, like its sister chapters, to ensure the success of believers. It belongs, like its two predecessors, to the Middle Meccan period. The first section asserts the unmistakable terms of the success of the Muslims. The second refers to the advice of Luqman to his son, which was now meant for the Muslims. The third speaks of the greatness of divine power, which could bring about such an impossible thing as the triumph of the Muslims over their enemies. And the fourth foretells the doom of the mighty opponents. You know, Allah can beat up everything with nothing. You know that. I hope you heard what I said then. He can beat up everything with nothing. It's because he's Allah, and he does what he pleases. Alright. Section 1. Believers will be successful. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. I, Allah, am the best knower. These are the verses of the Book of Wisdom, a guidance and a mercy for the doers of good, who keep up prayer and... I didn't even do prayer. Oh my God. Oh my God. Sorry, that just came out. That's really... I hope that was like a little bit of an accepting apology from Allah that I didn't even pray before this episode. I mean, we can always pray now. I guess, you know what I'm saying. I really should have prayed at the beginning of this. I've prayed on every single one, but I've not done on this one. Alright. In the name of Allah, the entirely beneficent, the entirely merciful. All praise is due to Allah, the Lord of all the worlds. Sovereign of the day of recompense, it is you, Allah, whom we serve, and it is you, Allah, whom we ask for help. Guide us, Allah, to the straight path, the path of those upon whom you have bestowed favour, not of those who have evoked your anger, nor those who are astray. Allahu Akbar. You know, talk about the greetings being late. You know, when the minister makes greetings dead late. I'm doing the greetings at the end. That's so the minister to do that. Well, not at the end, obviously. He remembers. My bad. My apologies. You know, we want to thank the nation of Islam, the entire nation of Islam, for being as it is our teaching source during such a dark hour. And I'd like to thank my mother, who raised me and made sacrifices that I am learning of and yet will never comprehend the depth of. You know, I thank the nation for always being there for me, even when they don't even know that they need to be there for me. Or that they are being there for me, whether they even know it or not. You know, so it's so beautiful to know the truth, beloved. It's so beautiful to just know you've got such a beautiful truth to come to and measure yourself up against, or with rather, to see where you are. You know, it's a lovely blessing to see how tall you are. You know when you were a kid and there was not, you know, you do the put your hand above my head and then I move, and then, you know, but to actually know how tall you are, to actually know how far away from a destination you are, to know how much food you need to make to feed everyone, to know how much water will fill up the cup or fill up the jug, because you're trying to fill up other cups as well. You might as well fill up a jug instead of just filling up your own cup. That's if you can find a jug. Just make sure you don't drop it if you do pick up the jug. But it's just a nice thing to know that there is something around, there's someone around that you can go to and ask questions. I mean, obviously, I don't have the privilege, the real blessing of actually going and asking the minister a question, but you know, the minister did say, if you ever feel like you wanted to talk to me, just meditate upon me. Oh, I did that last night. I was struggling. I've been struggling a little bit. And like, I felt like I got a response from him, but it doesn't even matter. I think I'll keep that one to myself, actually. But what was we gonna... We was gonna do the Quran. Right, so anyway. But yeah, so maybe I do need to touch on that, though. You know, the minister is so in tune with Allah that Allah allows him to be in tune with those who want to tune in to him. And he can reply. He's... Oh, praise be to Allah for him. The light of my life. The light of our lives. The light of this life. What a man. We love you. Okay. I, Allah, am the best knower. These are the verses of the Book of Wisdom, a guidance and a mercy for the doers of good, who keep up prayer and pay the poor rate, and who are certain of the hereafter. These are on a guidance from their Lord, and these are they who are successful. And of men is he who takes instead frivolous discourse to lead astray from Allah's path without knowledge, and to make it a mockery, for such is an abasing chastisement. And when our messages are recited to him, he turns back proudly, as if he had not heard them, as if there were deafness in his ears. So announce to him a painful chastisement. Those who believe and do good, for them are gardens of bliss, to abide therein, a promise of Allah in truth, and he is the mighty, the wise. He created the heavens without pillars that you can see, and cast mountains on the earth lest it should be convulsed with you, and he spread on it animals of every kind, and we send down water from the clouds, then cause to grow therein of every noble kind. This is Allah's creation. Now show me that which those besides him have created. Nay, the unjust are in manifest error. Luqman's advice to his son, section 2. And certainly we gave Luqman wisdom, saying, give thanks to Allah, and whoever is thankful for his own soul, and whoever denies, then surely Allah is self-sufficient praised. And when Luqman said to his son, while he admonished him, my son, ascribe no partner to Allah, surely ascribing partners to him is a grievous iniquity, and we have enjoined on man concerning his parents. His mother bears him with faintings upon faintings, and his weaning takes 2 years, saying, give thanks to me and to thy parents. To me is the eventual coming. And if they strive with thee to make thee associate with me that of which thou hast no knowledge, obey them not, and keep kindly company with them in this world, and follow the way of him who turns to me. Who's that about? And follow the way of him who turns to me. And that is, well, we'll just say that's the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan. That's the one I'm thinking of. Then to me is your return, then I shall inform you of what you did. O my son, even if it be the weight of a grain of mustard seed, even though it be in a rock, or in the heaven, or in the earth, Allah will bring it forth. Surely Allah is knower of subtleties, aware. O my son, keep up prayer and enjoin good and forbid evil, and bear patiently that which befalls thee. Surely this is an affair of great resolution, and turn not thy face away from people in contempt, nor go about in the land exultingly. Surely Allah loves not any self-conceited boaster, and pursue the right course in thy going about, and lower thy voice. Surely the most hateful of voices is the braying of asses. Praise be to Allah. Praise be to Allah. Alright, well, it's been a lovely episode. I know I've been I've been well over a couple of days, away from you guys. So apologies rather, for my incompetence. But I hope this episode was a good one to make up for it. Obviously, I'll do them for the rest of the week now, inshallah. But sometimes, I think one thing that I've really found a real struggle with sometimes, beloved, is that, I'm to make my word bond, okay? And the word that I've made to myself that I would make it bond is that I would do an episode of these pretty much every day. But I didn't quite encounter or encompass how perhaps the minister, didn't come out every day in a way. And so, sometimes I need a bit of a break to actually recharge and to gather my thoughts and and not just sorry, one sec, and not just waffle on loads of stuff and chat a bit of absolute bars a bit sometimes. I don't know how I don't even know how it sounds. I'm just trying to be a servant. I'm just trying to do some work, but I don't know how it comes across on your end. I hope that you receive it well, but I think some days I've put that pressure on myself to bring these lectures every day, but then there are some days where I genuinely don't feel like talking. I don't feel like talking. I don't want to. I don't think I'm in the right. I don't think I'm in the right state of mind to speak in a way. Because when you're really doing this work, no wonder the Honourable Elijah Muhammad said his head pains at night. He said sometimes he feels like he's gonna have a stroke. That's there's some serious words to consider, yo. Muhammad, there was a story about Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, that, he got on top of a camel, and camels can bear heavy weight, beloved, but he got on top of a camel, and the camel couldn't carry him, because the camel was carrying the spirit of the Prophet. It was carrying the very weight of the Prophet. And so with that in mind, sometimes I feel like that camel. And then I'm trying to carry Muhammad all the time. And I just can't some days, and I just hit the sand and I'm like, yeah, I'm staying here for a minute. Because it's for my own safety. It's It's not my own safety. It's just for my own, like, I'm just human at the end of the day. Like, I'm not. I don't profess to be some wizard. I don't profess to be some like great person. I do like to prove my being a great student. I like to race to all that is good. That's what I like to do. See, I wasn't racing against you. I was racing against me yesterday that weren't running as fast. So don't worry, I'm not racing anybody. I'm racing only me, because really I'm racing against my ignorance. Really, I'm really running away from it. I can't see him anymore. I can't see ignorance not very well. I got too far away from ignorance for him to bother me. Maybe when it comes to me, yeah, I'm a bit ignorant sometimes to that. Because sometimes I don't really I don't take a compliment very well. And I just like to just get on with it. I like to just do the work. But sometimes I've had so little, like, so few people that are on this thing, helping the minister around me. I've really had only myself as an example sometimes. So I think sometimes I use myself as an example because I can't say I know anybody intimately in a way that's in the nation. I don't think intimately enough to use like their life experiences. Obviously I use the ministers and the Elijah Muhammad and what I know of those great men. But so I'm just doing my best in it. I'm trying to keep my word bond. I'm trying to stay patient. Things are trialing me in life, A lot of things are coming through that I don't know how to handle it sometimes. Because, yeah. And you don't know what you don't know. So, I just want for me what Allah wants for me. And if Allah don't want it for me, then He'll make sure that He makes me to know that that's not what I want for you. And I'm trying to wrestle against myself. Trying to wrestle against, striving in the manner that He would approve. I made sure that Ramadan was, it's the first time I ever fully completed Ramadan. And I was really happy about that. But I didn't really think there was anybody that I could share that with but Allah. And not that Allah's not enough to share it with, but sometimes you just want connection, You just want, like, you just want to be on the same page. You just want, like, to find your equal in a way. You want to find, like, somebody that's on your wavelength, It's just about connection, isn't it? That's why I dwell on the minister so much. I see a lot of, like, I see a lot of the minister in me. I see a lot of me in the minister. It's like I was born to find out who he is and help him. I feel. I know. I strive. But sometimes it takes it takes time to fix the time. See, Farrakhan can teach on the time because he is the time. See, surely by the time, surely man is in loss. Except those who believe and who do good. But look, if he is time, then we've got to fix the time. In other words, fix up how we're looking at the time or the extension of time. Because otherwise we're going to be in loss, So, I don't know, just a thought. those are my thoughts. Praise be to Allah. So we'll continue tomorrow, if it be Allah's will, with the nurse, which is the science, the vaccine, trafficking children, and life force energy. It's definitely interesting because, obviously, you know, children are full of life, you know. And it's not an accident that all this children stuff is going on, you know. Where, like, you know, the devil just seems to have this infatuation with children. Like, what is his deal? You know, like, just anyway, not to ramble. Anyway, beloved, let's episode 32. I actually don't know. Wait, what is 32? I think, is it kaf? No, it's the adoration. Okay. Oh yes. Oh yes. Right. Well, thank you for listening to me. Thank you for being patient for my next episode. It's good that it kind of came on a later date, because I think watching Brother Ben's episode, which came out only 10 hours ago, has really helped us in our episode. So, and you know, support Brother Ben if you can. You really are looking at somebody who's willing to lay it down, man. So, I hope we help him. Right. Well, I'll be leaving you. I'll take leave of you now. Praises be to Allah. I thank him for giving me the spirit to teach, to talk, to explain, and to, if any way, leave you a degree higher than where you were when I found you, as it relates to this study and as it relates to the nation, perhaps what we are trying to touch on, trying to get across. So praises be to Allah. And Assalamu alaikum, which means in the Arabic language, peace be upon you. And we'll see you tomorrow for episode 32, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.